All right. I don't know if everybody can see the screen. We're going to kick it off with our third Facebook live stream for Tour de Trees. Thanks everybody for joining us. This would have been our last riding day. I think most people would be done rolling by now. Is that right, Paul?
Yeah, this would be the last day in. You're exactly right. It's it would be 4 o'clock there. Yeah, we'd all be in. Because that was a pretty short day, moderate, a little loop to kind of add some flavor to the day. But yeah, pretty easy day overall.
That's really kind of crazy to think about, but we'll be there next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next year. We would be getting together for a really fantastic dinner.
That's right. It would be the award dinner, presentations, celebration, congratulations, all that stuff. So instead, tonight our dinner is Super Salad Bar, the wonderful sponsor of this live stream. So
your whole dinner. Billy's Billy's gonna need like dinner. 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So just a big shout out to all of our sponsors. You can check them out at treefunds.org. But tonight we are hoping to gather some donations for our Tour de Trees participants. And the largest donation from tonight's live stream is receiving a prize bundle from Renee and Super Salad Bar. So I will take this back off the screen and let Renee tell everybody about how wonderful this product is and how tasty it is.
What is Super Salad Bar?
All right, what is Super Salad Bar? Well, Super Salad Bar, basically it's a salad that we've compacted in a bar. We dehydrate the bar, so being active people, I like doing a lot of different things. So on bike rides, on hikes, while you're snowboarding, while you're camping, it is important to like fuel yourself. My brother, Billy, has been probably the best teacher in that. Even before I made these or we had like many bars with us, it'd be really important to eat and just to keep going, or else your muscles will cramp or you're going to get, I don't know, dehydrated and not feel good in other ways. So it became a project of mine, more of like a passion project to get like real healthy food out there. And I took bags of spinach on like camping trips, and I would just go get the spinach and it'd just be goopy. So I couldn't really figure out a way to get those veggies with my Cliff Bars. So to make that sort of complement project, we've been scaling very well, actually. So we did about a couple orders a month. Then we stepped up to about 100 orders a month. Then I got into a commercial kitchen. We kept producing and figuring out how to make the thing and get it to more people. I'd be the dork with the salad bars out downtown Cleveland. Taste this. Tell me your feedback. Taste this. Tell me your feedback. So we've been through about 202 iterations of that single signature cinnamon product, and we'll have more flavors coming soon. We got a strawberry one very close to finalized, and yeah, just getting people's feedback. And now we're up to probably about 1,200 bars a month. So we've been shipping out quite a bit lately. Yep.
It also conveniently fits in a cycling pocket.
Most definitely.
Yeah, perfect.
Our participants eat a lot of Cliff Bars. So if you want to switch that up and try out something new, these are,
they are really good.
One thing we like to do, Maggie, it's funny because the bar, some people are a little confused as to what it tastes like. I would call it slightly sweet. It's not really like savory. It's not that salt. It's not like meant to be a salad. It's just the nutritional benefits of a salad, while we still have our familiar like Cliff Bar or I guess like slightly sweet bar flavor profile. But one of the things we like to do is we'll take our favorite Cliff Bar and like eat it simultaneously. So we have like a kind of a well-rounded, like you get your veggies in there and you get your carbs from the Cliff Bar.
A full meal. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. Something like that. Billy, we'll send you that dinner recipe in a little bit.
So what are the nutritional values of it? I mean, as you mentioned, carbs or calories or those things that we use for fuel. So
yeah, awesome. Well, Billy actually lived with me 6 or 7 years ago when I kept doing all the little prototypes and stuff. And he was like one of my biggest inspirations on like getting actual good fats in your whatever snacky or cereal or whatever item you're going to be eating, and getting good carbs in there, getting some sugars, but only from real fruit. These things that like I realized when I was starting to do my longer runs, like I needed salt. I didn't have a lot of salt in my normal diet or like my regimen. And that was one of the best things that I figured out while running, was that like I needed salt and my muscles needed to retain some of the water while on those runs. So in terms of the nutritional benefits, if you look on the website, we have like sort of all the nutritional panel laid out. But what we did was we sort of tried to push a very, well, we call it Mindfully Mixed. That's the overarching brand of salad bar. But what it is, you know, it's 10 to 12% good fats, 10 to 12% good carbs, 8 to 10%, you know, like any of the things that you need in there, especially the sugars are only from real sugar. So meaning from fruit. So you also have the fiber. So I think there's maybe 8 to 10% fiber just from the fruits and veggies and things like that. And then the protein, Billy, we are working on a protein packer one.
Awesome.
There is a little protein. I think there's 4 grams in there, but it's from the sunflower seeds. So we'll get some hemp protein powder, some other like sort of fun protein things in there.
Yeah.
How can people read more about it and place an order?
Yeah, awesome. So you can place an order on the site. The site is supersaladbar.com. Pretty simple. I try to keep everything like very simple, also very transparent. So everything on the site, I was just like, what would I want to see from a company that is selling something healthy? And it was just like straight up, here's the ingredients. Here's the nutrition facts. This is what it is. Here's how many ounces per bar. Here's the price. Do you want it? So no like floofy sales things. I try to explain it or describe the taste as best I can, or as best we've sort of figured out. But it's really up to people. And the biggest group that ever comes back is just through word of mouth. Again, Billy and Maggie, some of my biggest advertisers, and it's like, it's not intentional. It's just like, hey, be pretty good, or hey, this is what I've been eating. And then I know my sister, hopefully she's like, you know, advocate too, but she'll take them on the hikes. I hope it's just not for me that she's taking pictures, but she takes them on her hikes and claims that, you know, like she'll snack on a bunch of Costco snacks and just jelly beans and this gummy and that thing and this thing. But until you eat one of these and you like, there's some chewing involved. I mean, you're crunching it, you're chewing. People say it pairs well with coffee. I like it with water, but I mean, it's small. It's a 170 calorie little sucker, but you don't feel, I don't know, you don't feel very hungry at the end of it, which some snacks you're just like, oh, I could eat 7 more of those, you know, little bars and chocolate things and stuff. So yeah,
you can also eat them in trees, not only on your bike, but while climbing the tree as well. You can eat them in trees. I've done it both. Yes.
Yeah, you know, Cliff Bar did get the climbing community, but we have a different sort of climbing community that we're going to reach.
Yeah. Tree climbing.
Yeah. It's all
hi, Lori, and hi, Mary.
So just a reminder, at the end of this live stream, whoever donates the largest chunk of money, this is a fundraiser in the end to a Tour de Trees participant. Renee is going to be giving out a super awesome Super Salad Bar bundle prize. So a little bit of incentives there if you feel like supporting these guys, supporting some of our other wonderful participants. Go to tourdetrees.org to check out more. Thanks, Renee. Is there anything else you had to share about nutrition, cycling, running, any of it? Love, salad love.
Other than, no, I mean, I really like the project. As most of my family and friends know, I've been at it for a long time. Never really thought it would be like, oh, this will be my job or like my full-time thing. But there's been like stints of like on and off where I'm just full-time salad bar and thinking like, yeah, you know what? Healthy, active community that I can share the product that I made for doing those healthy active things, to make you feel better to do those healthy active things. It all kind of just like cycles around itself. And I feel like this could be of probably other things, but this could be something I do for the rest of my life. So I'm making them. We're in the kitchen. We make them weekly too. So it's like it's a process, but it's fun. And I even like with every bar that I put on the tray, I even think like, oh, someone like hiking is going to be like, oh, I'm hungry right now, but I also want to feel good with not like sugar alcohol or something else. So it's neat. It's still a passion project, even though it's sort of also my job.
Yeah,
well, I can't wait to sample it and wait to share it with the other riders and other riders in my business. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thanks so much,
too.
Renee.
Maggie, I appreciate you collaborating.
Oh, thank you so much for all of your support. You're our #1 supporter too.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Renee.
Thanks, Renee.
Yep.
Thank you.
Am I leaving?
Oh, you can
Or do I stay?
No, you're staying. We just want to thank you.
We might have some nutritional questions come up too. We're just going to move on into those. If you don't mind staying on and lending another set of expertise.
I don't mind. I can't expertise. I can't claim to be a pro, but we do have someone on the team who I won't mention her name right now because I'll make sure it's okay with her to make sure that she knows we're publicizing it. But she is a registered dietitian, also helping us create some of the new protein ones, some of the more like well-rounded ones. We're looking to do a keto friendly version as well. So getting those essentials with those sort of dietary restrictions or necessities.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, yeah, please stay because we already have quite a few questions submitted by Lori. Lori says hi to everybody, by the way. Mary
Hi, Janet. Hi, Lori. Hi, Kevin.
Janet Bernanson says hi. I read your name straight through. I'm sorry, from the Facebook feed. Kevin, as we know, is here on the stream. I'm going to see what happens when I pop his question up. Okay, Renee, cut off just a little bit. But here's a question.
Oh, Paul, that's a really good question. That's a great question, and something that I see a lot. And so I guess the primary component, as a cyclist, is we're the medium that we operate in. So it's kind of our largest foe in most circumstances is getting through air. So aerodynamics is critically important, and position on the bike is how we manage aerodynamics. So yeah, you feel like you're a little weaker in the drops, and that's not uncommon. And most of the time, that's about hip mobility. So, making sure that you're doing some part of either yoga or stretching and keeping your body, your hips as mobile as possible. And then it's a matter of just training that. So working mobility. And then when you're out on the bike, just kind of go through intervals of, increasing from 5 to 10 to 15 to the longer periods of time when you're in the drops, and then really focus on relaxing the diaphragm, breathing through really well. But yeah, aerodynamics is a critical component. So, but more than anything is comfort. So you got to make sure that, because you're not going to perform well if you're restricting your diaphragm, or if your back hurts or your neck hurts, so it's all of those things, flexibility, strength, and just practicing those positions.
I have nothing to add.
Thanks.
There's a reason I deferred to Paul.
Thank you for the awesome question, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
And for everybody who's just joining us now, please submit your questions in the comment section. If you want some live answers, we have the people to answer all your nutritional, training, bike mechanic, life questions here.
We got it all.
I don't know about life questions.
And I can't put these next ones up on the screen because actually Lori Skull submitted some questions ahead of time, so I have them off to the side of the screen. I'll just read it out loud here. If you need me to repeat it, let me know. But our first question: what is your favorite bike that you currently have in your stable? and why is it your favorite? So I'll let maybe all three of you answer that question.
Yeah.
All right.
So I have my latest purchase is a true gravel bike. I've had cross bikes and I've had all kinds of bikes and I've ridden all of them in all kinds of environments, but I have a true gravel bike now. It's a Cervelo, and I just love it, you know, so it allows me to comfortably ride in all terrains, all environment, all substrates, and it's my go-to at this point.
I do also love gravel bikes, but I'd have to say my fat bike is my favorite. As much as I have ridden my tri bike into the ground and have done all of my current accolades as far as the furthest I've ever ridden and the longest I've ever ridden have all been on my tri bike, it still has to be my fat bike.
Nice.
It's slower. It's definitely slower, but it's a lot of fun.
It's crazy that you guys ride the entire length of the Tour de Tree on a fat bike.
Yeah. And that's, I don't know if anybody here or several of you that have ridden already and seen me last year. It was my bike of choice.
Yeah.
And it will be next year when we return to Colorado.
Oh my God.
And I will equip it with as many tools and as many tubes and tires and a full-size pump this time.
Right on.
I know we ran into that problem a few times, but
yeah.
The other fun thing about you riding the fat tire bike is I can ride this bike here, and for the most part, we're the same pace.
She's been getting faster though, so
yeah.
Well, I bet, I'm sure.
We'll see.
Yeah, that bike keeps you in that mid pack, you know, so you're taking care of people who need more assistance. So that's the perfect place for you to be.
Yeah. Renee?
Billy's good at that. And yeah, and Maggie, she is fast. I've bike with them. They are fast. And for me, well, I definitely my Louis Garneau. It's a cyclocross bike. I do recommend if anybody hasn't ridden a fat tire bike or does like outdoor wintry stuff, try one. It is very fun. Billy's let me borrow his. My boyfriend recently just got the Salsa Bear Grease as well. So now we're going to be on some sort of like wintry adventures and things like that. And then Billy has also been known to pull snowboarders on the back of his fat tire bike. So cross training.
Wow.
We've done it a few times. Yeah.
I can post a picture if we need it.
They're very versatile.
Yeah. If you can get it up while we're talking at any point, I think you can share your screen, Renee.
Ooh,
how about
awesome.
Lori? What's your favorite bike?
Yeah, Lori, submit your favorite bike in the comments here.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful question. While you're working on that, Kevin says thank you. That was a really helpful answer to his question, and he is happy to see everybody too. He's saying hello again. But Kevin, we miss you.
Yeah.
And everyone else.
It's amazing how quickly this week is going, though. You know, we're all lamenting the fact that we're not there, but you know, it was Sunday and we were crying, and then now it's Thursday, and the tour would have been winding down. So
yeah, it's crazy.
So fast.
And at the same time, it feels like we were just all together last year too.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't believe a year's gone by.
I know.
While Lori's submitting her favorite bike in the comments, I can move on to the next question, also from Lori. Is there a bike in your past that you got rid of that you wish you still had? Wow.
I'll take this one first.
Yeah.
No, I like the new technology. Every time I upgrade, I love them more and more. I mean, my current Bear Grease is I built myself a set of carbon rims. I ordered some hubs and some hoops and built them myself. So it makes it a little bit more special.
Yeah.
But I know when the time comes to upgrade, I'll give that bike a new home and probably have a new favorite bike.
I think that I don't want to say it, but the price tag also goes up every time. So if you could like compromise the past price tag with the new bike, that'd be cool. Sorry, Renee, go ahead.
No, that's okay. going to say I had I don't even know what it was, probably a Huffy or something. I think I was 7 or 8. And Billy, I think you remember this one too. It was like right before we got the Mongoose, like BMX kind of style bike. It was this red bike, maybe even a little rusty on stuff. And it was the no gears, but you would pedal and then just stop to brake it. You'd like push back to brake, you know, like those kids.
Yeah.
Bike. Well, anyhow, yeah, we would, coaster brake. We would ride down the driveways fast as we could, headed right to the garage. And then we would slam the brake and we'd sort of like spin and do this like right on the gravelly driveway. I think that's why Billy likes his gravel bikes and stuff now.
Yeah.
We used to practice it.
I do the same thing. I just have a handbrake now. See how far I can skid my fat bike tire.
Yeah.
I still have a bunch of my bikes too, Lori. I don't get rid of many of them, but the one that I really missed was kind of my first race bike was this Twin Circuit that I bought in probably 78 or so. And it was all chrome, like the fork was chrome and the stays were chrome. And it had this beautiful pearl white Shimano Dior stuff on it. It was just the most beautiful bike, you know, and you know, now, you know, of course, just really beautiful lugs and, you know, they don't make bikes like that anymore. I mean, you can still get custom steel bikes, but they don't make many like that anymore. So that's the one bike that I really, really hate that I got rid of. But I'm like Billy, you know, the technology, I mean, the bike that I love now, you know, is my first, other than my mountain bikes, of course, but it's my first disc brake road / gravel bike. And it just makes a world of difference. I mean, you know, and the geometry's a little more relaxed, so it's super comfortable. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Lori. Keep on holding on to them.
We should have had Lori on the stream because, yeah, she said she doesn't get rid of them, but she should. Yeah. She's restoring a coaster bike right now, she said.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And Maggie, I found the clip if I can share my screen.
I'm not sure how to give you power to. Let me see.
Okay.
I think you might have to do it on your end. If you have a...
Also, Lori shared her favorite bike. She loves her road bike, her race bike, but she said her Kona gravel bike's her favorite.
Oh, I'm with you.
I might be biased, but I think they're more fun.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Oops. Maybe you're not ready to be on the screen yet.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
That's impressive.
Oh, is it? Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
There he goes.
Can you make it full size?
That's hilarious.
You can kind of see.
Yeah, it's small. Sorry.
That's okay.
I can. There we go.
Thank you, Janet. I'm so happy to still be doing this after all those years.
Oh, can you read the comments? I feel silly reading them. I didn't realize you could. Okay. Good.
This would have been 16, by the way. So you were there, obviously, our first days, our first challenging days. And yeah, I'm still hanging in there. Thanks for all the support throughout the years.
Aw. All right, next question. And everybody remember, keep submitting your questions. We've got these guys. As long as you want to keep asking questions, we'll stay here till tomorrow.
I don't know about tomorrow.
I don't know about that.
I gotta work at 6. So.
All right, if you only had $2,000 to spend, so this is similar to some of the questions we've had about picking out new bikes. If you only had $2,000 to spend, what would you buy? So I guess that doesn't necessarily have to be a bike.
No.
Maybe that's what she meant. Or you can, oops, sorry. What do you think?
Yeah.
Upgrades?
Yeah, I mean, my first big upgrade besides the rear derailleur that I was forced to buy because one race I did ruined my rear derailleur on my fat bike. The first bigger upgrade I made was a new set of wheels. And I don't know exact weight difference. I'd never weighed my bike before and after. But I did go carbon rims and Hope hubs, which are a little bit nicer hubs. And then just normal spokes because I wanted the strength. I didn't want to go bladed or anything like that. and then I went tubeless. So I bought some decent tires. They weren't the best tires, but they were tubeless ready, but it made a world of difference. My fat bike, and I don't know if it's more so because I've got carbon rims on my race bike and my gravel bike, and on my fat bike by far made the biggest difference. So for me, it'd have to be, if I didn't already have them, it would be an upgraded wheel set.
Yeah, and Lori, what I would say, and we get this question a lot about, where would you recommend I purchase a bike, or what kind of bike should I buy, or what type, what brand? And, I stay pretty consistent in that, I'm a real proponent, real fan of supporting your local bike shop. So find a shop that treats you with respect that you deserve, that listens to your, what you're going to do with that bike, how you're going to use that bike, and respects your budget, so, and buy whatever they recommend, so, all the bikes that are out there now, are really good bikes. In $2,000, you can get a good bike, you can get a really nice bike.
Yeah.
So, I'd say support your local bike shop. Make sure that you get a good feeling. If you don't, go somewhere else. Go to another shop. There's plenty of shops, plenty of people out there that are willing to listen to their customers and understand their unique needs, and will help you out.
Yeah, and Lori, we just got the Bear Grease, the Carbon Diore for 2,200, or like right around there, and that's a fat tire bike, carbon light. And if you're interested in picking up some winter riding, I think that's one that is pretty cool, I think.
Okay, we have another question here from Kevin. Thanks for participating, Lori and Kevin. You guys are so engaged. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Another training question here. Is there a training benefit to riding a single speed bike? I hope the answer is yes, because I'm getting a new bike anyway.
Of course there is.
Yeah, why would there ever be a bad answer to getting a new bike? I think that there's never a problem with that.
Yeah, we used to do, Kevin, that was how we trained in the off season, or one of the primary components of training in the off season. And I lived in a relatively flat to gently rolling area, so it worked out really well. It was not only single, but fixed gear. And it does a lot of things. Muscular endurance, muscular strength, pedal stroke, all of those things, that it really kind of ingrains in you. And, again, another really important component in cycling is efficiency. And, in developing a pedal stroke that is efficient, and you're not fighting yourself as you're turning that crank over. So, yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great training tool.
Yeah, Billy let us borrow speed for a while. I think the biggest thing it taught me, training or not, the benefits of when you do switch to a geared bike. You're so much happier on it. It's almost like teaching you patience or gratitude.
That's the one thing about a single speed, is finding the right gearing for the type of riding you're doing. So if you have all flat and it's geared too low, you're going to be spinning 140 RPM the whole time, and which is good cadence practice. But I think it's important to find that right gearing set too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Lori jokes here. She asked if we're sponsored by Salsa.
No, but if they're watching, hit me up.
Okay. Next question.
Lori likes fixies. Yes.
What basic maintenance should every rider know how to do on their bike? Vague, huge question, but I could use some help with it.
Clean it.
Show up with a clean bike.
Yes. He's a shining example. Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, yeah. The number one thing that all riders should be able to do is know how to fix a flat. That's really as Billy was mentioned before you guys came on, shifting the derailleurs front or rear or rear, those are that's good things to know, but knowing how to fix a flat so you don't get stranded out there, and you're prepared that you have everything that you need if you do encounter a flat. Those are critical. And in today's world, as Billy was saying, he's riding tubeless now, and so am I on some of my bikes. So understanding the unique needs of fixing a flat that is tubeless, and there are some constraints there because the tires are harder to mount and dismount. But for most people, you're riding tubed wheels, and being able to fix a flat and identifying the source of the flat, all that kind of stuff, that's critical.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, changing a flat seems very basic, and a lot of people watching or that will watch this might know how to do it, but it's really important. And it's really important too, if you do get a flat, like Paul said, to find the source of the flat. Because if you got a nail in your tire and you throw a new tube in and pump it up, you got another flat tire.
We've seen that on the tour before.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's harder. I mean, there's glass stuck in tires, and you got to, pinch the tire bead and to find the little piece. Yeah. But it is important. I think I joke about cleaning the bike because when we do work, obviously there's not great places to clean the bike, but one of the things as working as a mechanic back a few years ago, every day, one of the biggest things people said, their bikes, it's making weird noises or, and usually was very dirty and their chain wasn't greased.
Yeah.
And it's very, very simple, but it's hard to do. It's hard to remember to do all the time. And it's one of the things that can save you a lot of drag. It'll make you faster if you just keep your chain lubed and keep your bike clean. So
that whole ABC, when before you go ride, check the air in your tires, check your brakes, and just see if there's any noticeable issues there, and check your chain. Wipe it, lube it, keep it clean.
Lori says here, even with tubeless, I've had to throw a tube in it.
Yep.
So maybe I'm still carrying one.
I always carry a tube with my tubeless setup as well.
I do too.
Just
I don't patch it. I'm not a patcher on the side of the road, so I do the same thing.
Yep.
Too.
So segue from that question, what type of maintenance should be left to the professionals? Is there anything you should not attempt at home? Don't try this at home.
In my opinion, it's anything you don't feel comfortable with doing.
Yeah.
If you can watch YouTube videos, and that's great. But when you start tinkering with stuff that you don't really understand, it seems simple, and it is if you really learn it. But when you start messing with limit screws, especially on your rear derailleur, and you're flying down a hill and you overshift, it can be detrimental.
Yeah.
It can cause you to crash pretty hard. So I would say anything you don't really feel comfortable doing, I would leave that to the professionals.
I think too, it's a little bit like a car. Or a motorcycle, you are traveling 45, 50 miles an hour down some of these hills. And for me, I don't do a lot of stuff. I'll either ask Billy or take it to some local bike shop or something. But the other thing I was going to mention was also like cars, and Billy has helped me take care of my bike a lot. They last longer. So getting the salt off of them in the Ohio winters and actually getting some of the gunk out of there before it builds up and ruins something, or before something seizes and gets worse. Like the routine maintenance thing is just like a car.
Yeah. No doubt.
We have another question from Lori here. What type of chain lube do you like?
Billy, what do you use?
I've heard so many different things on this one, but I prefer a thicker, not like a tri-flow or like their lubricants that's used for derailleurs and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's fine in a pinch. I think some people swear by it. So I've never done drag coefficient tests. But what I like most is wet lube, and it's a non-wax based lube. I think it runs a little smoother, but you do have to clean and put it on more often. I don't know. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, and that, again, comes back to maintenance. You know, making sure that your chain is taken care of, you know, is one, make sure you really clean it, you know, wipe it down really good before you lube it, and then wipe down, you know, let it sit overnight if you can, and, you know, but if not, then at least for a little while, and then wipe down the excess. But as far as the type, you know, I'm like Billy, I agree with that. You know, I'm Pro Gold or Demande or, you know, that type of thing. So.
Thank you, Lori, for another question.
Wait, Lori's got more here.
Oh.
So we have another story time. If you have a story to share, what was your favorite, most epic ride ever that you have ever done? She says ever twice in here. So like, it's got to be a really epic story.
I'll let someone go first.
I think I might know Billy's.
I don't know.
I think it was the 24-hour, probably.
Yeah.
The first one?
The storm.
Yeah.
That like monster storm. I'll go because mine's not as long as that. Not the story, but Lori, actually, my most epic bike ride was with you. We were in West Virginia, and our goal was 100 on just straight up trails. I mean, these things were rocky, gravel the whole time. It was like a little reprieve on some of the paths that we caught. And then we also got hit by like a ton of rain on the way home. And Billy, I think you had your fat bike or one of a fat bike.
One of them, yes. Yeah.
And then I just remember getting back, being cold, wet, like so happy. We did about 97 or 98. And then Lori said, well, we have 2 extra miles you get because it was hard as hell.
I remember that ride.
Woohoo, North Bend Trail. Lori.
Oh, thank you, Lori. I did forget what it was called. Paul, epic ride? I know you've been on a few of them.
Oh, Lord, my dog. I've got a few, of course, but most memorable is probably, or one of the most memorable is my very first century. You know, I was pretty new to cycling. You know, I had been commuting a little bit, riding around, you know, and then I said, gosh, you know, this looks pretty interesting. I'll do this. And probably hadn't only ridden maybe 20 miles or so at a time, 20, 25 or whatever. And, you know, missed, you know, just purposely, you know, I was in this race mode, you know, just went blowing by the first rest stop, blowing by the first rest stop, you know, didn't know anything about fueling or hydration or anything, just going as hard as I possibly could, you know, and of course that caught up with me. And then, you know, so the last 30 miles were just pure hell. And so I get in and then I, you know, and I, you know, I was all chafed and just super fatigued and just, it was like the worst thing in the world, you know? And I told my friends, I said, if I ever mention doing another century, just douse me with gasoline and just light a fire, you know? And, but I've done so many crazy rides, you know, I had, you know, I've led cycling vacations for, you know, 20 years. And so one of the things that kind of brought my company to some little small level of notoriety is this, what's called the Epic. And it was proposed to me by Bicycling Magazine. They said, we want to ride the Blue Ridge Parkway in 5 days. And I said, gosh, I don't have anything like that, you know, in my offerings. And it just sounds too daunting. Like, I don't think we could market that to the general public, you know, so we got to do it. That's how we're going to do it. You know, and if you want to do it, you want to get this article in, then, you know, we got to do it in whatever, 10 days. And I said, all right, we'll do it. So then they proposed, so we're going to ride this 500 miles, 55,000 feet of climbing in 5 days. So, you know, every day is a century and every day is 10,000 plus feet of climbing.
Wow.
And, so I selected this people that I knew could do it. But, you know, after about day 3, we're all going, wow, this is pretty challenging. And, you know, and we got more and more fatigued as it went, but it turned out to be a great experience, a real bonding experience. And then that turned out to be kind of my signature event. And I led 3 of those a year for 10 years, and now it's a little less popular because my clients have, like I have, aged. So we're doing less arduous rides, but that's probably about as hard as it gets, to do.
That's so cool.
1,000+ feet century in the mountains every day for 5 straight days.
Yeah. Mine, as Renee mentioned, I've done a few, not quite as many as Paul, but my most memorable has to be my first 24-hour race I've done. Lori, my good friend Lori, dragged me there. She said, "Oh, you did great riding 12 hours. You could do good riding 24." And I said, "I don't know, but we'll try it." And I met a young lady there, and she asked me what my goal was. And I said, over 500 miles. Didn't really know what it took or what that entailed. And met a really good friend of mine named Jessup, and him and I worked. Didn't know who he was. We didn't really talk much. You just, one got in front of the other, got behind, ride for a little bit, you get behind, and it almost became like this synchronized dance. We never discussed who was going to pull when. It just, when you do 33 laps of a 7-mile loop, you kind of just get in sync with each other.
Yeah. And
by the end of the race, it was like 8 a.m. in the morning on Sunday. I had hit 509 miles.
Wow.
And it was my first 24-hour, most miles I've ever gotten in a 24-hour since. And I've done a few since then. But I got to meet some awesome people like this one right here. So
I kind of made the wrong assumption when you said over 500 miles.
Yeah, I got an eye roll.
I was like, oh, okay, sure.
She knew what it took, and I didn't yet. So. But it was an awesome time, and it led me into the world of ultra cycling. And Lori was the one who dragged me there to my first 12-hour, and then to the first 24, and then ultra cycling just kind of took over. So since then, I've done some pretty cool rides and winter races, and I have some more planned. Hoping to get to the Arrowhead 135 next year, if they hold it. But it's definitely that 24-hour. So thank you, Lori.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
Thank you.
My first entry was in '78, Lori. So it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And, most memorable, Janet. Yeah, Pacific Northwest. We were talking about that recently on one of our conversations. I think it came up in our happy hour for our support team last Friday.
Yeah.
And yeah, that we all said the same thing. That was just, it was so beautiful and so tragic at the same time. I mean, we just had the best time and a great group, and it was just a fabulous experience, other than the way too many accidents that we had. But that pushed us to make some significant changes to how we manage the event, and to be a little more aware of the significance of managing it in a more safe way. So yeah, we learned a lot.
I would be remiss if I didn't tell an epic story right now too.
Yes.
For my dad, for Pa, that probably everybody who's watching know Pa. He's not watching right now. He will be watching the recording because he's riding right now. He's finishing his 5th 200-mile day in a row as part of his Tour de Trees campaign. So he will have completed 1,000 miles in 5 days, probably in the next 15 minutes or so. He's probably wrapping it up right now. So that's
yeah, I know.
Not my story to share, but I do want to mention it. I think that he will, when he's finished, he'll probably consider that his most epic ride.
He's doing about 12 hours, 12-hour 200s.
Yeah,
he's doing for the last 5 days.
Yeah.
What's the weather like? Where he's riding?
He's done a mix of indoor and outdoor cycling. So when it's nice, that's the luxury of rolling in place. You can do whatever you want. And just the convenience of being at home for nutrition and breaks if you need them. He's trying not to take them because if you've got 5 back-to-back 200-mile days, you just want it to be over with.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not sure actually where he ended up today, if he was indoor or outdoor, but.
What does he ride indoors, by the way?
He rides his recumbent on a trainer. Yeah, so now he upgraded this year to a full carbon, super awesome. I mean, his dream bike and his
custom made,
yeah, and his old full carbon just as wonderful. Maybe not quite as he would not say as wonderful, but he doesn't even have to switch out bikes. He can just leave it on the trainer all the time, which is nice for this.
Yeah, so he put his old race bike on the trainer.
Yeah,
and he just leaves that mounted.
Yeah, so if anybody's wanting to know more about this crazy thing that it's been hard to believe, you see him on the leaderboard and you're like, that can't be true.
It is, Lori.
Sharing a little bit of
I gave up trying.
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah.
He's number 1 on the leaderboard right now. So anybody who's watching who wants to go support his campaign, it's very easy to find his name on there right now.
Yeah, it is.
Janet, I will tell him hello. Thank you. I'm sure he will send one back. He's missing everybody this year. I think that's why he's taking this so seriously. This is what got him and me into cycling in the first place, and I think that a lot of people can say the same thing. This Tour de Trees is something really special. Oh, Renee's back here. Hey, Renee.
Sorry.
He's back.
I plugged my computer in, then it cut out.
Dana says her first and only was Pacific Northwest. She only did half, but it was awesome. Dana, I think is that where we met too? That's the other thing about this ride, all the friendships.
And career changes too.
Yeah.
I now climb trees for a living.
He loves it so much he just wears his helmet 24/7.
Yeah, I never take it off.
Always ready.
You look good in that. It looked better maybe.
Dana, you need to come back and ride with us again.
Yes, please, Dana. Okay, we've got one more question here, and we have about 10 minutes left, so this is about right. But if you do have more questions, stick them in real quick. We'll try to get them covered or follow up later on. What are the most important exercises that we should be doing off the bike? Does this list differ in season and off season? So switching gears completely about what we've been talking about, but still a really good question.
Yeah, I'm a fan of keeping it pretty simple, just using body weight exercises. So really it's kind of, push, pull, hinge, so push-ups, squats, air squats, or you've got a kettlebell, or if you've got some dumbbells or something, lunges, and then, hinging. So single leg rows and, just kind of, it doesn't have to be too complicated. I'm a real fan of keeping both your training on and off the bike simple. There's no reason to make it too complex, but, the critical component is just getting the work in, just doing the work and showing up, every day and just doing something, and taking it easy on yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just do some work and have fun, and share it with friends if you can. And it's a tough environment to share with, but, just keep getting out there and of course, core, lots of things to do to keep your core strong but this classical, you can do sit-ups, but really planks, plank, side plank, those are just wonderful exercises, so again, too complicated, but, it's good to do that year round. I mean, especially for those that are aging like me. So just keeping some level of strength is critical. Strength is an important component for cycling.
I agree. Everything that Paul said. I think body weight exercises are the most important. And I think focusing on, if you want just a few exercises, I think planks are one of the best exercises you can do for your core stability. So your lower back and your lower abdominals, and then squats. I think squats are one of the most important things you can do as far as supporting your glutes and keeping your IT bands from getting injured, certain things like that. And don't go crazy. Don't squats are important, go do 500 because then you're going to injure yourself.
Yeah.
But I think everything Paul said, consistency, making sure you do it. I mean, you can do body weight exercises every day.
Yeah.
There's no need to, if, rest days are good. Some of us like rest days more than other. And I've grown to like rest days more now than I did back when I was training for Ironman and stuff. But it's very important to just do it. And, plank, a 30-second plank will take you 30 seconds. So, it's not, finding time for those little things, and it's not that hard to do. Yeah. Everything, weights are great. And if you have a gym and you want to train more explosive power, but when it comes down to it, I think training your core, so your lower back and your lower abdominals are so important. Yes, Lori, the weak core. And we always, Lori and I joke about how most fitting issues, not most, but some fitting issues are not fitting issues at all. They're caused by a weak core. Because if you don't have any core muscles or lower back muscles, or they're not that strong, and you try and get into too aggressive of a position on your bike, you will put way more weight on your hands, which will cause finger numbness. And it'll cause you to fatigue a lot faster as well.
Yeah.
And then anytime you're uncomfortable, it raises your heart rate immediately. So already making you less efficient in the long run. So like Paul said earlier, comfortability is key. So if, you can be as aero as you want, but if your heart rate spiked 20 beats per minute because you shouldn't bend the way you're trying to bend, it's not going to make you any faster.
Good point.
So I think all the body weight exercises are really important.
Yeah.
I'll speak on behalf of fun. I hear an echo, sorry. Whatever exercise or exercise off the bike you're going to do to help train, whatever you do, like whatever you can get yourself to have fun doing, you're going to do more of. And if the gym is an hour away and you might be better off rock climbing at your local 5-minute down the road, garage gym. So whatever it is. And I, for myself, I can't speak on behalf of hardcore training, but just something that makes me active, keeps me going, is just a bunch of different things. I mix a lot of activities all in it. Snowboarding and rock climbing and hiking. Some days just a walk is fine. Longboarding and, all the other things, but whatever you do, whatever you have fun doing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
agree. I mean, I found a job thanks to several friends from the Tour de Trees. And, one of the things we do a lot is climbing a rope. And it's weird, but I do it every day. And you start to gain, more core muscles and the way you undulate your body to get up the tree. So it is, it's another exercise, but it's utilizing my work day and still getting training in. So I agree. If you make it fun, it won't feel like you have to do it every day. It's more like you get to do it every day. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say get a dog, get a puppy.
You'll walk more.
No
Go do the stairs a lot more if you live on the second floor.
Yeah, all those things. I mean, we're active people, so our lifestyles, keep us moving. And we're, we have good attitudes about moving our bodies. So we're an easy crowd to communicate that to. But it is, and like Billy said, we all have time constraints. But I watch. Right now, I'm watching the Tour de France every night. So, I just get the exercise ball out and roll out some and push up on it and play around on it. And, just kind of use that time that I wouldn't be doing anything other than sitting. So,
yeah.
I lift spreadsheets every day.
There you go, Lori. See?
All right. I think that ends it for our questions. I can't thank you guys enough for taking this time. It's been great. put back up our partners here as a little quick thank you again. And just a reminder to everybody, if you did enjoy this, maybe we can get these guys back for a repeat round or a modified version. Do some more technical questions, maybe, if they're up to the challenge. We have a couple more live streams next week coming up. Professor Pricklethorn is going to be joining us. Dr. Helly Dozier is going to be back for another guided meditation. We can't thank everybody else for enough for participating with us during these times. I know we can't be together, but this is as close as it gets, and I have a smile in my heart just seeing you guys here and the comments. I'm missing everybody so much. Thanks, Lori. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for your support. Oh, and I do have to announce again, thanks to all of our other supporters out there who maybe aren't joining us tonight, but we have hit over $100,000 for the fundraising campaign, which is just phenomenal.
Fantastic.
And any donations tonight, don't forget you're going to be entered in a sweepstake drawing for Super Salad Bar. Provided by Renee. Thanks for joining us, Renee.
Of course.
They're delicious.
I'm so honored to be here. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great night.
Bye, Paul. Bye, Renee. Bye, Facebook. Bye, Lori.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Thanks for having me.
Bye,
See ya,
Janet.
Paul.
See ya.